Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi,
Buddham saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Sangham Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi
Namo Buddhāya. Greeting to the Mahasangha, to our esteemed Honorable Speaker, the Most Venerable Chief Reverend Saranankara Nayaka Mahathero, Chief High Priest, Judiciary of Malaysia. Also greeting to our distinguished speaker today from various countries, Venerable Bhikkhuni Mahathērī from the US, Venerable Bhikkhuni Zetsuma Tenzin Pomo Mahatheri from the UK, Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda Mahatheri from Thailand, Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhi Theri from Australia, and Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumangala from Malaysia. And also greetings to our representative of UTBSI, Venerable Bhikkhuni Vijayani from Indonesia. To all the Venerable Bhikkhunis, Theris, and Mahatheris who have wholeheartedly played the role as coordinator of the UTBSI and preparing for this 2 days Dhamma program. Also to the fourfold Sangha around the world and all the audience here. Today is 7 December 2022. Buddhism year 2566. So welcome everyone for joining us at this Zoom platform. The program theme today is the importance of Bhikkhuni Sangha existence. Thanks to the organizer, Maha Bodhi Society of India and United Theravāda Bhikkhuni Sangha International for organizing today's Dhamma program in commemoration of Sanghamitta Day 2022, together with the Modern Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. So inspired by the achievement of the noble ones, on this special day, all of us are gathered here with delighted spirit and joys, wishing to recollect and share the virtues, contributions, and attainment of Arahant Sanghamitta Mahatheri in the Buddhist history. Taking this opportunity, we will ponder upon, explore, and discuss on the theme today, the importance of Bhikkhuni Sangha existence. We'll talk about in the past, in the history, and in our present modern world as well. I'm Bhikkhuni Ariya Sanghamitta from Ariya Vihara, Malaysia, your moderator today. So without further ado, let us now start our program by inviting Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhi Theri for lead the opening Pali chanting for our Dhamma program today. Please, Venerable.
Let us pay homage to the Lord Buddha. Arahang arahoti namine Arahang papang nakarai Arahakta palang pato Arahang namate namo Samma Sambuddha Jnanine Samma Sambuddha Desana Samma Sambuddha Lokasmin Samma Sambuddha Te Namo Vinja Charana Sampanno Passa Vija Pakasita Atita Nagatum Panno Vinja Charana Te Namo Sugato Sugatattanang Sugato Sundaram Picha Nimbanang Sugating Yanti Sugato Namate Namo Loka Viduti Namine Aptita Nagate Vidu Sanghara Satamokase Loka Vidunamate Namo Anuttaro Jnana Silena Yolokasa Anuttaro Anuttaro Pujalo Kasming Tang Namassami Anuttaro Sarati Sarati Deva Yolokasa Susarati Sarati Pujalo Kasming Tang Namassam Sarati Deva Yaka Manusanang Loke Aga Palang Dadang Adang Tang Damayang Tanang Purisa Janyate Namo Bhagava Bhagava Yuto Bhaggang Kilesavato Bhaggang Sansara Muttaro Bhagavan Namate Namo. Let us pay homage to the Lord Buddha.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta, for this auspicious opening Pali chanting. So now we would like to invite Venerable Bhikkhuni Vijayani, the representative of UTBSI from Kusalayani Vihara, Indonesia. So Venerable also a student of Ayasantini Mahatheri, the chief coordinator of UTBSI Dhamma program. So Venerable Bhikkhuni Vijayani will give her welcoming opening speech to all. Please, Venerable.
Namo Buddhāya. My humble respect to Venerable Bhikkhu Bhikkhuni Sangha, especially to Most Venerable Bhikkhu B. Saranankara Nayaka Mahathero, Most Venerable Bhikkhu P. Siwali Nayaka Mahathero, and all Venerable Senior Bhikkhunis. My dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a warm welcome. In particular, with all due respect and gratitude, we welcome all venerables who join this two-day event. As we heard just now, we all gather here to commemorate two important events. The first is the arrival of Venerable Bhikkhuni Sanghamitta Mahatheri to Sri Lanka, and the second is the 26th revival of Theravāda International's Bhikkhuni Sangha. This event is organized by the UTBSI Dhamma program, chaired by Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahatheri and assisted by Vice Chairman Venerable Sumangala, and as always is supported by MBSI. This event is very special because we have well-known speakers to learn from. Today, on the first day, we are very lucky because Most Venerable Bhikkhu B. Saranankara Nayaka Mahathero, Chief Judiciary Monk of Malaysia, is willing to attend as an honorable speaker. We know that Bante has got extensive experience and wisdom. So of course, all of us, especially Bhikkhunis and women who wish to practice the Buddha's teaching intensively and deeply, can learn from Bhante about the essence of this important event as our guide and foundation in living this life. On the first day, we will also learn about the importance of Bhikkhunis from a well-known Tibetan Bhikkhuni, Venerable Jetsunma Tenzin Palmo, who is an author, a teacher, and also the founder of the Dongyu Jatsal Ling Nanri in Himachal Pradesh. Whereas tomorrow, on the second day, we are also very lucky to have Most Venerable Bhikkhu P. Siwali Nayaka Mahathero, the Chief Monk and General Secretary of Maha Bodhi Society of India, as the honorable speaker. We all know that Bhante's role and support as MBSI's representative to the Bhikkhunis is immeasurable. At the beginning, the revival of the Bhikkhuni Sangha was due to the role of MBSI. Even now, Bhante helps us by forming UTBSI. On 9th November last month was UTBSI's first anniversary. It means that it has been a year since Bhante fostering us, becoming the backbone and our hope. Of course, Bhante really understands how to raise the awareness of Bhikkhunis and women in general through the commemoration of these two extremely important events. On the second day, we also will learn from a speaker we are waiting for and hope for, namely Venerable Bhikkhuni Sada Sumana Mahātherī from Sri Lanka. Venerable is one of most senior Bhikkhunis who's played a very important role in the development of Theravāda International's Bhikkhuni Sangha, both as early Pawatinis and as mentors for Bhikkhunis. From Venerable's extensive experience, we hope to get a lot of information, knowledge, and spirit to be extracted from the 26th commemoration of the revival of Bhikkhuni Upasampada. Afterward, a senior Bhikshuni will also give her presentation about being a Dhammaduta. She is Venerable Bhikkhunī Saṅgha from Indonesia. Venerable is a practitioner who is very experienced and dedicated to fostering people in Indonesia and in some other countries. Of course, her experience and wisdom is invaluable to all of us. On the second day, we will also get an activist who has devoted a lot to the interests of the Buddha Sasana. She will speak about the development of Indian Bhikkhuni Sangha. Her name is Mrs. Namrata Chada from India. Based on her experience, she will share many things that are useful for listeners. At this important commemoration, the UTBSI coordinators will definitely share their wisdom, experiences, thoughts, opinions, and suggestions to raise the awareness and understanding of the importance of these two historical events. On the first day, 4 coordinators will speak. They are Venerable Bhikkhuni Tathaloka Mahatheri from USA, Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda Mahatheri from Thailand, Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Theri from Sri Lanka, who lives in Australia, and Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumangala from Malaysia. And on the second day, 2 coordinators will speak. They are Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahatheri from Indonesia and Venerable Bhikkhuni Viditadhamma Mahatheri from Vietnam. Most venerables, ladies and gentlemen, today's program is hosted by a young moderator, namely Venerable Ariya Sanghamitta, a bhikkhuni who has just been ordained last month in the Upasampada organized by UTBSI and MBSI. This shows that UTBSI and MBSI provide opportunities for people, especially bhikkhunis, to practice and develop their talents at events like this. On the second day, the event will be hosted by Venerable Mangala, who has got a lot of experience as moderator. We certainly hope that this program will be meaningful and attract your attention so that it can provide great benefits to listeners and at the same time brings progress to UTBSI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayya Vijayani, for the informative explanation for the program for these 2 days. So now, at this moment, we will watch a short video about Venerable Sanghamitta Mahatheri that has been prepared by our tag team, Venerable Bhikkhuni Vijayani and Venerable Bhikkhuni Saṅgha from Malaysia.
In Lanka, the king of Lanka, Dewanampiatissa, spoke to the Arahat Mahamahinda about the receiving of the Bamboo Grove Monastery. The king asked, "Is a monastery suitable for the community, Venerable Sir?" The Arahat Mahamahinda said,
"It is suitable."
Hearing that, the Lord of the world was happy and very joyful. Queen Anula, together with 500 women, came in order to worship the elder Arahat Mahamahinda. And after listening to the Dhamma teaching with faithful minds, they entered the second path and fruit. Then Queen Anula had a desire to go forth together with the 500 women and said this to the Lord of the world.
Today itself we will go forth, if it is your wish, Lord of the earth.
Hearing her statement, the king said to the elder,
Venerable Sir, Queen Anula desires to go forth together with 500 women. Please give them the going forth.
It is not suitable, great king, for us to give the going forth to women. There is in Pataliputra a nun who is my younger sister, Sanghamitta by name, who is famous and very learned, Lord of men. Bring the southern branch from the great Bodhi tree of the Lord of Ascetics, and also the noble nuns, to the city in the island of Lanka king. Send a message to the king, our father, saying, let her come, and that elder nun will come and give the going forth to these women.
Mahamahinda says this because he believes dual ordination is necessary, whereby a female aspirant needs to be ordained by nuns first, and then have the ceremony confirmed by monks. The king sent his nephew, and he took the message of the elder and the king and worshipped them. Then Queen Anula, with 500 young women, and together with another 500 women of the harem, having undertaken the 10 precepts, pure in the yellow robes, being in training, looked forward to the going forth, looked for the coming of the elder nun.
Thank you for the video that shared. Okay, so the part 2 will continue tomorrow. Here now, this evening, with us here also is Venerable Bhante Sri Saranankara Mahathero. I would like to give you some brief introduction for his biography. So Bhante B. Sri Saranankara Mahathero is renowned for his selfless devotion and immense contribution to the growth of the Buddha Sasana, locally and internationally. He was born in Bhuttawati village, Kandy, Sri Lanka. Chief Reverence became a novice at the age of 12 and spent 11 years for his monastic education before his Bhikkhu ordination in 1976 at Mawati chapter, Kandy. Therein, Chief Reverend's compassionate quality has been nurtured and leads him along his altruistic spiritual journey. In 1984, at the age of 30, Chief Reverend has come to Malaysia. He was warmly invited by Sri Jayanti Association to be the resident monk, whereas today Sri Lanka Buddhist Temple, Santo. Since then, thousands of people from near and far who seek for solace and inner peace by the Buddha Dhamma has been benefited. In 2017, the Supreme Council of the Mahasangha of Mawati chapter, Kandy in Sri Lanka, has honored Chief Reverend with the title of Sangha Kirti Sri. Also, he has been appointed as the Chief High Priest of Malaysia since the year of 2007. So the floor is yours now, Chief. Please.
Respected member of the Maha Sangha, Bhikkhu Bhikkhuni, and the Upasaka-Upasikas. It's a great joy to commemorate such important the Bhikkhuni Sanghamitta, organized by the Maha Society and United Theravāda Bhikkhuni Sangha Bhikkhunis Sangha. The two organizations get together. Establishment of the Bhikkhuni, such a remarkable part they able to achieve. Such a short period time, amount of activities organized by the two organizations able to reach out many ways to strength Bhikkhuni Sangha in the world. Especially for the recent high ordination, we see progress various parts of the world, amount of Bhikkhuni Sangha, so much contribution, self-development, as well as for the towards mankind. I've seen various capable Bhikkhuni Sangha coming up various parts of the world, on the west and the east. You're all such an important day is to take it as the so much challenges I know each and every one of you are facing. Look at the Ariya Sanghamitta. Her part, how much sacrificing she done to great achievement. In fact, the whole Sri Lankan woman, whole Sri Lankan community, Buddhist community, is a great debt towards the Ariya Mahinda, as well as for the Sanghamitta. Two remarkable characters, able to done so much, the great services towards citizen of that Lanka. During that time, until today, many ways, cultural, as well as for the many other achievements, due to the great, we are great debt towards the Buddhism. If you talk about the language, we talk about the culture, if we talk about the housing, architect, and many other cultural development, is due to the great coming of the Buddha's teaching towards Lanka. In fact, we can see the very important role what the Bhikkhuni able to done to the Buddhist propagation. Ariya Mahinda invited the Sanghamitta to come over to Lanka to establishment of the Bhikkhuni community that such an island. She not come empty hand. She able to bring the sacred boat tree. Until today is the world oldest the tree brought by her. It's a very good message behind, we can see it. Many of us, we might think the role of Sangha community so much to the propagation of Buddha. At the same time, we don't forget it. The great contribution, the Bhikkhuni Sangha, the done that particular starting itself in Sri Lanka. Coming over here, bring this sacred boat tree, how important today, actually, of course, came from the Bodhgaya. Then later part, the Bodhgaya happened to be destroyed by that through that particular period. Then again took from Sri Lanka to over there to replant. The lineage, the historical part, we can see it. That particular time, Ariya Sanghamitta bring the boat tree sampling into Sri Lanka, lineage is going to be Venice. Bhikkhuni contribution, that alone is the greatest services towards mankind. In many ways, we think about equality. The teaching of the Buddha very slowly, clearly mentioned. Gender is not the problems for the Buddhist practice. Today, we can see it, time of the Buddha, we are able to witness, we are able to see it. Amount of capable Bhikkhuni Sangha during that time. The lineage coming to us until today, we can see it. The capable Bhikkhuni Sangha until today, various parts of the world, East as well as for the West. Their remarkable contribution, their services towards mankind, highly appreciated. Especially Bhikkhuni role, I especially had to mention, very much important today modern world. Some part of the world getting lesser and lesser Bhikkhu Sangha. That vacuum, the huge. Look at the Sri Lanka itself. Many part of the remote area, the rural area, getting the lesser Bhikkhu Sangha. The Bhikkhuni Sangha, they're able to, little part of their contribution, that particular area, they're able to go to great service. I strongly believe it. Each and every one of you we got a role to play for such important things. Commemorating Sanghamitta Day, what exactly we had to do is, as a young Bhikkhunis, get the motivation, get the great inspiration from the elders, time of that time until today. Number of role models, there is, we are for us to follow. Every achievement or Bhikkhu or Bhikkhuni is very important towards mankind. Each and every one of us, being the Sangha community, left from people, we got a bigger role to play. Especially modern society, we can see the amount of problems people are facing. That require the great loving kindness, compassion, to help for the needy. Female Bhikkhuni or female devotees, looking forward, their assistance, their guidance, their helping. Recent pandemic period, we can see it, number of people, especially female. They got so much thing to cope up. Today, modern world, being husband, being wife, both are working, as well as for their having so much responsibility and commitment, amount of pace, amount of problem they are facing day to day. In order to cope up, they require very much the spiritual strength, inner peace, inner mental strength, in order to go through this particular period. I able to witness as well some of the young Bhikkhunis. They're able to do so much contribution to help for that particular area. Number of people, they have the depression, they are not able to cope up their day-to-day life. They're able to give the helping hand. They were there beside them to giving little personal touch, to comfort them, then going through this particular period. That alone, I strongly believe it. So much they're able to do it. Let us look into the different angle. If we happen to be the Bhikkhu Sangha, Bhikkhu Sangha have a barrier. Bhikkhu Sangha has a little limited to help for the female, the devotees. The Bhikkhuni Sangha, they got so much space and there's so much things to share with them. The female, their emotional feeling to take care. Teaching of the Buddha, very particularly, we mentioned spiritual well-being is very important things. Socialization with the right people, very important thing. In order to socialize right people, virtuous people, in order to get the greatest their spiritual achievement, we require that type of spiritual friendship. The spiritual friendship coming with the inner great virtues and qualities. That virtues, that qualities, they able to help for the many sentient beings. Especially today, such an important day, just reflect what the Bhikkhunī Saṅgamitta, what the teaching of Buddha into the female audience. Until today, they're able to so much progress. We can see that island today, certain leading role taken by the Bhikkhunī Sangha. From there, we can see it. From there, we can imagine each and every specially educated, very strong practitioners. They got able to do so much things for the development of the Bhikkhunī Sangha in the world. United Theravāda Bhikkhunī organization, establishment that particular things to be united, each and everyone in order to contribute the great services towards mankind is required. Brothers and sisters, especially young Bhikkhunis, I've seen your determination in the Bodhi. I've seen amount of right effort you are taking to learn. With that particular Hydration Day, I've seen so much sacrificing and the determination. Being very young Bhikkhunis, try to learn by heart, try to learn and practice themselves. It's a great motivation. It's a great joy for me to see. When I was under the board tree, I seen some of them, their practitioners. I seen some any opportunity, they get it. They go their self-development, self-achievement, try to full use it that particular period. I seen the inner interest, how much they try to put effort to learn and practice. The practice makes us perfect. Knowledge very important. Knowledge itself doesn't complete without practice. Teaching of the Buddha more towards our day-to-day implement in our own inner mental strength. Knowledge of the teaching of the Buddha, the theory knowledge, when we put into the day-to-day practice, we make you better person. Especially, I seen you that get particular message time, the short period when I witnessed in the Mahabuddha Society, each and every one of you, most of them, I seen your determination. I seen your great devotion. I seen your practice to improve as a practitioners, young Bhikkhunis. I strongly believe it. The same spirit to maintain to great achievement our own self and the great services towards mankind. there's nothing else what we can achieve in our whole life. That greatest mental comfort, the inner mental strength to help us to liberate ourselves and help even others or the sentient being to help, especially for the female, the devotees. We require your great services towards them at this particular moment. I highly appreciated each and every one of you, the great services. The wonderful people are contributing so much thing for the Buddhist community as well as for the development in the Bhikkhuni Sangha, various parts of the places. A great joy, a lot of Sangha members are supporting for all each and every one of you the spiritual development. That's another greatest joy I experience whenever I talk to some of the Sangha members. They are highly supported as well as for their great blessing. Even the senior Sangha members are giving for all of you. That means you are not alone. A lot of people are rejoicing your spiritual development, rejoicing your great achievement, rejoicing each and every one of you. Yeah, wonderful part they are doing towards mankind. By the power of God, all those wonderful things are continuing. And may they help each and every one of you as well as for to maintain mental strength, physical strength, as well as for the spiritual strength to many more years to come, as well as for our final liberation. Thank you very much.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Chief Reverend Saranankara, for your acknowledgement to the Bhikkhuni Sangha, for the Bhikkhuni Sangha capacity and capability in helping the society, especially to the female devotees. Now, everyone, so we also learned that the message and the advice from Chief Reverend Saranankara on the newly ordained, the young Bhikkhuni, on their duty and, the responsibility for the sasana. So now let us, with joy bomb, with high respect and gratitude heart, with thanks and gratitude to our Honourable Speaker, the Most Reverend Bhante B. Sri Saranankara Nayaka Mahathero, for giving us this wise speech. Everyone say sadhu, 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 sadhu. Now at this moment, we would like to greet the Most Reverend Dr. Henipola Gunaratana Mahathero for his 95th birthday today. So on this special day, on behalf of the organizers, I wish the Most Venerable Dr. Henipola Gunaratana Mahathero all the best. May you come to a time where there's no birthday anymore for you, because you have come to the cessation of dukkha, liberation, nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So in the following, we will have our first speaker, who is Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda Mahatheri from Thailand. So I would like to give a brief introduction for Venerable Bhikkhuni. Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda Mahatheri was previously a professor in Thammasat University, Thailand. She completed her BA degree in philosophy from Viswa Bharati University, India, MA degree in religious from Lancaster University, Canada, and a PhD in Buddhism from Bhagat University in India. In year 2000, she received the Bodhisattva's precept from Fo Guangsan in Taiwan. Within a year, Venerable Bhikkhuni took ceremonial ordination from Venerable Bhikkhuni R. Sada Sumana and Venerable Bhikkhu T. Dhammaloka in Sri Lanka. In year 2003, she took her Bhikkhuni ordination and became the pioneer Theravāda Bhikkhuni in Thailand. She is now the abbess of Wat Songdhamma Kalayani in Nakhon Pathom, Thailand. So the floor is your Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda, please.
Thank you so much. Greetings to Mahasangha. My particular respect to Most Venerable B. Saranankara Mahathero. I'm also inviting him to come to Thailand on December the 11th. So I hope that he will be able to join us. I'm not accustomed to this Chief Judiciary monk of Malaysia, but I used to call the previous Venerable Dhammananda, Venerable Dhammananda, Mahathero. I used to call him Chief Priest, and that is how allow me to address Venerable Saranankara, Chief Priest of Malaysia, as we are inviting him, and the Thai word for that is Prathan Song. Prathan is a Chief Priest. Sangha, Prathan Sangha from Malaysia. So we are inviting him also on December 11th. Today I have my presentation, what do you call it? Presentation, what do you call it? Video prepared for this particular day, celebrating Venerable Sanghamitta Mahatheri. So may I have the video, please?
I pay respect to the Bhikkhu Sangha and Bhikkhuni Sangha. Thank you for allowing me to speak on Venerable Sanghamitta and her mission. I would like to focus on her role as Dhammaduta. Allow me to take you back to the year 2001 when I was ordained in Sri Lanka. Venerable Dhammaloka, the late Venerable Dhammaloka, who was actually organizing for my ordination, he was the abbot of the Bodhan Ramaya. And at the ordination time, that was seminary ordination, I was still wearing white, and he asked me to go out and hoist the flag. I was confused, I didn't know that ordination has anything to do with hoisting the flag. There were 3 flags, Thai flag, Sri Lankan flag, and the Buddhist flag. There was another senior master, Bhikkhu, who also hoisted the Buddhist flag, and I was supposed to hoist the Thai flag. Then, after finishing with the hoisting of the flags, with the 3 flags, I came back to the ordination hall, and Venerable Dhammaloka explained to me that it was like Venerable Sanghamitta, when she took the lineage, the Bhikkhuni lineage from India to Sri Lanka. So when I receive ordination, I myself receive ordination in Sri Lanka. I am taking the lineage back to Thailand. So that's why he asked me to hoist the flag symbolically, to say that now I'm taking the lineage back to Thailand, the lineage that Venerable Sanghamitta actually delivered to the Sri Lankan people way back, in the 3rd century BC. That was the first time that I became very interested in Venerable Sanghamitta, to realize that actually she is the first Bhikkhuni to play the role of international Dhammaduta, yes, taking the lineage of the Bhikkhuni ordination from India to Sri Lanka. Allow me to take you back to 3rd century BC. That was a time when King Ashoka, at that time he was not yet a Buddhist, he was invading Kalinga. And of course he won the war, but after this Kalinga war, King Ashoka became very remorseful. He recorded himself that there were something like 400,000 people who died in this war. And on top of that, at that time when he invaded this Kalinga, there was no king. So you can imagine that King Ashoka, being a great king himself, invaded a state with no king. So there was no pride in that winning the war, He was very remorseful, and it was that time that he considered turning towards Buddhism. Approaching Buddhist monks, the Buddhist monks suggested that for him to be very closely rooted in Buddhism, he should take ordination, which was not possible for him at that time. So, he turned around and he asked his children, the most immediate children, the oldest one that he had, was through his first marriage. He was married to this Princess Videhi, or Videsa. 2 children were born, the Princess Mahinda and Princess Sanghamitta. At the time when when King Ashoka asked his children to be ordained on his behalf, Prince Mahinda was 20 and Princess Sanghamitta was 19. She was 1 year younger than her brother. Imagine that they were so obedient and both of them were ordained. It was recorded that Venerable Sanghamitta was not ordained as Bhikkhuni yet because she was not of age until the next year, the following year, that she could take the full ordination to become Bhikkhuni. At that time, we thought that she's just a young princess, but not until later that we realized that she was married. Yes, so then after that, King Ashoka had this mission of sending out Dhammaduta, the Buddhist ambassador, to spread the words of the Buddha in 9 different routes. And he chose to send Venerable Mahinda, his own son, to Sri Lanka. At that time, it was recorded that Venerable Prince Mahinda was 12 vasas, which means that he must be 32 years old because he was ordained as a bhikkhu when he was 20. Now, this group of Buddhist ambassador led by Most Venerable Prince Mahinda, he himself, 3 more monks, and 1 layman. This 1 layman, this Upasaka, was supposed to take care of the Bhikkhu Sangha when they were traveling, and 1 Samanera. This 1 Samanera was a nephew of Venerable Prince Mahinda, which means that he actually was the son of Princess Sanghamitta. So you imagine that when King Ashoka asked his children to be ordained, Princess Sanghamitta was already married. She also had a son. And this son became also ordained as Samanera, and he was in the group, in the very first batch of Bhikkhu Sangha to travel with Venerable Mahinda to spread the words of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. So very interestingly, when Venerable Prince Mahinda realized that he was going to go to Sri Lanka, far away from his own homeland, he went to pay respect to his mother. His mother, Videsa, Princess Videsa, did not become queen. She did not come to the capital to become queen of King Ashoka, but she insisted to remain in her own province. So Venerable Mahinda came to Sanji, which is very close to where his mother was living, and here the princess mother actually built a stupa to honor Prince Mahinda before his departure to Sri Lanka. And I'm sure that Prince Mahinda himself was the one who oversee this the building of the stupa. It took about a year or so, and Sanchi stupa, the one that we see now, very popular Sanchi stupa, is the one that was built for Venerable Prince Mahinda. It was sponsored by Princess, his mother. And archaeologically, you will not be surprised that all of the stupas in Sri Lanka take after this Sanji structure. Yes, so this connection is very important. Venerable Mahinda and the group they landed in Anuradhapura, and he gave a sermon to King Tissa. King Tissa was the king of Sri Lanka at that time. That was his first sermon, and from that sermon, he was able to convert King Tissa to become a Buddhist. The second sermon, Venerable Mahinda was invited to the capital, to Anuradhapura, and that's where he gave the second sermon. And among the audience, the Princess Anula became Sotapanna. So she is the first one on this whole island who actually became Sotapanna, and it's a woman. So Prince Anula, after having attained Sotapanna stage, she approached King Tissa to ask for ordination. She would like to lead her life just like Venerable Mahinda. Venerable Mahinda said that he came only with a Bhikkhu Sangha, but he could arrange for the Princess Anula to have the ordination by sending the Samanera. You remember Samanera who came with Venerable Mahinda, Samanera Sumana, who was also Princess Sanghamitta's son. So it was Samanera Sumana who actually flew back to India. That was how it was recorded in the chronicle. He flew back to India and he approached King Ashoka, his grandfather, that Venerable Mahinda now invited Venerable Sanghamitta to come to Sri Lanka to help him propagate Buddhism, to help him establish the lineage of the Bhikkhuni Sangha in Sri Lanka. So this is very important connection. King Ashoka was very, he was very wise. He was considering that Sri Lankan people worship trees. So that's why he sent along with Venerable Sanghamitta the Bodhi sapling, so that the Sri Lankan people can pay respect not only to any ordinary tree but to the Bodhi tree, which symbolizes Buddhism. Venerable Sanghamitta traveled by sea route. She did not fly. Not that she didn't have the miraculous power, but she didn't fly, as it was recorded. The King Ashoka came to see her off, at the port where the ship would be taking her down south to Sri Lanka. It took her almost a year to travel from India to Sri Lanka. Along with her, there were 10 Bhikkhunis. Now I have to give you the name. This list of name of 10 Bhikkhunis who travel along with her, we have to look for reference. My reference is Dipavamsa. Dipavamsa is the oldest chronicle, Sri Lankan chronicle, written sometime in the 4th century AD. Mahavamsa, which is much more popular, was written in the 5th century AD, about 100 years after. But Mahavamsa was not written, did not derive the information from Dipavamsa. Apparently, both of these chronicles have shared the common information, Purana, the ancient sayings, so to say. So in this, in Dipavamsa, in chapter 15, it gives the list of names of 10 Bhikkhunis, but in chapter 18 also give list of name of 10 Bhikkhunis, but they do not match completely. So in chapter 18, this is what I have, the Bhikkhunis who travel along with her: Venerable Uttra, Hema, Pasatapala, Akimitta, Thasika, Bhikkhu, Pappata, Matta, Malla, and Dhammathasiya. Now in chapter 15 of the same chronicle, more or less the same names were repeated again, but among these 10, 3 names differ from the list given in chapter 18. We have Tappa, we have Masakala, we have Papatachina. Maybe this shift of the name may be depending on, sometimes they refer to the place where that person is from. So this shows, what happened is that this shows that the person who record chapter 15 and the person who actually record chapter 18 would be different people. But the academics believe that this Dipavamsa was actually written by the Bhikkhunis. Whereas Mahavamsa was written by the monks, and Mahavamsa was sponsored by the kings. So very long, Mahavamsa is very long, about 1,000 pages, whereas Dipavamsa is very short one with only 20 plus chapters. But Dipavamsa give many details referring to the Bhikkhunis. Now, Venerable Mahinda and Venerable Sanghamitta, both brother and sisters, they continued their work in spreading the teaching of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, in this whole island, and they also were very careful to establish the Bhikkhu Sangha and the Bhikkhuni Sangha. Both brother and sisters were supportive, and we could say that during their lifetime, they really saw to it that Buddhism was truly established in the land. In Dipavangsa, it was recorded that there were, at that time, the women who became ordained were from high family. There were princes, there were queens, there were daughters of the Mukhamantri, like ministers, daughters of the ministers. And it was also recorded, which I thought is very important, that there were older Bhikkhunis, there were middle-aged Bhikkhunis, and there were younger generation Bhikkhunis, which means that there was clear continuation of the Bhikkhuni Sangha that would continue on this small island. Venerable Mahinda lived up to 80 years old, and the brother and sister, they are only 1 year apart. And it was recorded also that Venerable Sanghamitta died the following year. So she also died, passed away at the age of 80. I had an opportunity to see a stupa in Anuradhapura, which was dedicated to Venerable Sanghamitta. It's not big. I would say it's about only 3 meters by a diameter, still in Anuradhapura. And the local guide can actually show us, which one is believed. People believe that this one is the stupa that was dedicated to Venerable Sanghamitta. So for our lineage, for the Bhikkhuni lineage, we have to be very thankful to Venerable Sanghamitta. Imagine that she had to leave her family at very early age. At the age of 19, she became ordained as a Samaneri. At that time, she already had a son, which we didn't know. We discovered only later on that the Samanera Sumana was actually her son, and he was a connecting person also. We did not talk much about Samanera Sumana, but he was a connecting person, flying back and forth, to eventually bring his own mother to join his uncle in propagating Buddhism in this small island of Sri Lanka, which is like a small pearl, in the southern part of Indian Peninsula. The spread of the lineage, the Bhikkhu lineage and the Bhikkhuni lineage from the 3rd century BC, that is the time of King Ashoka, through his children, is very, very important. And Sri Lanka is the first country to actually take the lineage of the Bhikkhuni ordination, Bhikkhuni Sangha, to yet another country outside India. So Sri Lanka has that, has that history, a very, very important history of making this connection between India and Sri Lanka. And we from Southeast Asia, there is a strong connection between Sri Lanka and Thailand and other countries. When Thailand started as a nation, as the first unified nation, some 700 years back in 13th century AD, we received the lineage, the Bhikkhu lineage from Sri Lanka. That's why the Thai monks are called the Lanka Vangsa. And when the Sri Lankan monk, when they lost the lineage, they revived by taking the lineage from Thailand. So that's why you have Siam Vangsa in Sri Lanka. And as I'm sitting here as a Bhikkhuni, I take the lineage from Siam Vangsa from Sri Lanka. So that's all can be rooted, traced back to Venerable Sanghamitta. So today, particularly, we are celebrating, remembering how great Venerable Sanghamitta was, how much she sacrificed to have this Buddhism rooted not only in India but also in Sri Lanka. And she was the very, very first Bhikkhuni who traveled outside her homeland to establish Buddhism in Sri Lanka, and taking with her the Bhikkhuni lineage. And we are the one who are now the branches, the flowers of what she laid down for us way back so many thousands of years ago. So today we pay respect to her, and today we try to do our best. And whatever the good action that we have been doing, all the kusala karma that we have been doing, we would like to dedicate to Venerable Sanghamitta to pay respect to her. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda, Mahātherī, for sharing. So here we see that this telling us more detail about the Venerable Sanghamitta Mahātherī, how she played the role as the Dhammaduta to Sri Lanka, and it's the connection to lineage up to today, to us. And thank you very much for Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda for your thoughtful remark and notes at your video for the Pali special term and also the Pali resources. And we are grateful for your research, the academic research that always discover something that we do not aware about. Interesting to know that Venerable Sanghamitta has been married and have a son that ordained as a samanera at a very young age that follow Venerable Mahinda, Mahathero together to Sri Lanka to propagate the Dhamma. Thank you very much, Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda, Mahātherī. So now we will go to our next speaker. Is Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Theri from Australia. I would like to make a brief introduction on the biography of Venerable Bhikkhuni. So here I would like to highlight that the topic was shared by Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Mahātherī is about the roles model of Bhikkhuni Sanghamitta. So Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Theri was previously a medical scientist in Australia. She had completed her degree in biomedicine from Monash University. Now she based in Melbourne. In 2007, she went forth at Bodh Gaya by Venerable P. Sivali Mahathera, the General Secretary of Mahabodhi Society in India. Venerable Bhikkhuni then received the Bhikkhuni ordination in 2010. At present, she is the founder and spiritual director of the International Center for Inner Peace and Happiness in Australia. And also, she is the founder of Nisala Arana Buddhist Monastery, an international meditation center in Agalawata, Sri Lanka. Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Theri, also a Buddhist chaplain at the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology University in Melbourne. Venerable is a renowned Dhamma teacher and meditation master with over 35 years of experience. So now let us welcome Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Theri to share about the role model of Bhikkhuni Sanghamitta. Please, Venerable. Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta, can you hear me? Thank you. Please kindly unmute yourself so we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Mahasangharatne Namaskarai. With the permission of the Mahasangha, may I speak a few words? So, it is on a day like today that Venerable Sanghamitta Arahanta Mahātherī has got into a sailing ship, and from India, from the Thamaralapitiya port, got onto that sailing ship and then come down to Dhammakulapatuna in Sri Lanka. It was an arduous journey. And at that time, it's like life and death matter to go in the sea with the sea pirates and all that. But very bravely, Venerable Sanghamitta theory, with so much of selflessness, with a lot of that unconditional loving kindness, that when she was invited to Sri Lanka, she took that on board, and she took the opportunity and went to Sri Lanka, where even men would be afraid to go by the sea. But someone who has been brought up inside the palace, after becoming the nun and got enlightened, was showing all the qualities of that 100% selflessness and unconditional loving kindness, compassion, their dedication for the welfare of and well-being of others. So for the welfare and well-being of others, from the known place where her monastery would have been very comfortable, but she left her country, own people, culture, everything, and went to this unknown country, to unknown culture, and to unknown place, and lived her life, the entire life, until she passed away. She lived in Sri Lanka. It is from her that her braveness, her sacrifices, her unconditional loving kindness that gave the liberation to the women, starting from Sri Lanka and to go around the world. So she was a pioneer in that, and probably the first woman ambassador who went with a delegation to Sri Lanka, also with the Bodhi sapling, and helped Arahat Mahathero to establish the fourfold assembly. It is thanks to her that today we have the Bhikkhuni lineage. It is after her arrival in Sri Lanka that Bhikkhuni lineage started there. She has shown all the qualities that a role model would need to have. The selflessness, the unconditional loving kindness, the compassion. They were ready to serve others, full of wisdom. Everything was there, all the qualities were there in her. So she gave the head start, and she gave good leadership for the ladies and for the Bhikkhunis. And then the Bhikkhunis who came after her, taking the lead, they also traveled to the four corners of the world later when they had invitations, like when others would shiver, talking about a sea voyage. But Venerable Devasara, who went to China, and also like that, after taking the example from Venerable Sanghamitta Mahatheri, the others also did what they need to be done. Whenever there is an invitation and there is a need for the Bhikkhuni Sasana to start or to spread the Dhamma. They just acted like their leaders. So after Lord Buddha and Mahapajapati Gautami Theri passed away, I guess it is Venerable Sanghamitta Arahanta Theri that actually we look up to, and we have taken the leadership there. We have taken them as the role model. So all the Bhikkhunis who came later took Venerable Sanghamitta Arahanta Theri as a role model and then followed. So for all the Buddhists in the world, and especially for the women, that Venerable Sanghamitta Arahanta Mahatheri's role, the role that she played, is very important. So especially for the Sri Lankans, because Venerable Sanghamitta Theri went to Sri Lanka and they were so touched by her presence. And so she didn't go alone by herself. There are about, I think, more than 10 Bhikkhunis that went with her, and also about 200 people who went to Sri Lanka from her mother's side. And they all helped to shape the culture and the artwork, and many things were influenced by this group of people who came on that ship. So on a day like this, especially in Sri Lanka, they commemorate, they go on parades, and they, wherever the Sanghamitta statues are there, they take them in the parade, and they talk about Venerable Sanghamitta Theri with a lot of gratitude, because it's special for them. They know that it is after Venerable Sanghamitta Theri's arrival in Sri Lanka, the woman who was in Sri Lanka found the way to the liberation. It is from then that the Bhikkhuni order started there. So they're very grateful. So today is a day that not only the Sri Lankans, then now all around the world, the Bhikkhuni, wherever the Bhikkhunis are there, the Buddhists, whoever knows the significance of this event and how it helped shape the Buddha Sasana to establish this fourfold community, celebrate on the full moon daylight day today, and celebrate the Arahanta Sanghamitta Theri's life, the leadership that she has given, all the qualities that she had shown that a good leader should have. She had shown them. So for all the Buddhists, after the Buddhas and after Mahapajapati Gautami Theri's leadership, who do we talk about and who do we look up to after that? It's not being said out loud, but without knowing, we have taken Venerable Sanghamitta There's leadership. So today, I hope that the Bhikkhunis who have revived the Bhikkhuni Sasana also will follow the footsteps of Arahanta Sanghamitta Theory and follow that footsteps and give the leadership to the others, to the rest of the world, wherever the women needs help, wherever they need to find the way to become nuns or bhikkhunis. The current bhikkhunis will follow their footsteps, ancestors' footsteps, and act with unconditional loving kindness and with selflessness and with such dedication and sacrifices. They will work for the betterment of the humanity with the goodness and the wisdom in their heart, and will become the torchbearers to bring peace and happiness to the earth. So the importance of we commemorating and remembering such leaders like this is to get the inspiration and to think about the qualities they had and to consider that we also should live like that, so we also can be like them. So this gives us a message today, the long journey ahead of us. We need to be like the Arahanta Sanghamitta theory, like the Mahapajapati Gautami Mahathero. And we need to be like a Buddha in our own heart, in our own way. We should find liberation within. We should find that deep peace and develop the goodness and wisdom within us, develop that unconditional loving kindness, compassion for all, and be able to dedicate and sacrifice our comforts, luxuries, our life for the betterment of all beings, and be able to find that peace and happiness within us and help others also to find that. So we have been so lucky to have Venerable Sanghamitta Mahatheri arriving in Sri Lanka and giving this leadership to all women and to all the bhikkhunis. So we also can actually now follow their footsteps and become like that. So I wish to all the bhikkhunis around the world to be like one of them, and may you all be able to serve the world and bring peace and happiness. And also wish everyone who is involved and who have been joining today, including the Bhantes and the Mahatheris and also the Bhikkhunis and also all the lay disciples. We wish you all good health, long life, and may all your good aspirations come true in one fine day. May you all be able to penetrate into the Four Noble Truths and attain the bliss of Nibbana and find freedom from all kinds of suffering and experience the bliss of Nibbana. May you all be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. Sukhi Hotu. Take care.
Sad. Thank you very much, Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Theri, for your touching sharing. So here we found that these bring awareness and also a strong connection with Arahant Sanghamitta, and also on our duty and the quality we should cultivate diligently in our life. Yeah, to take the Arahant Sanghamitta as our role model, as a Bhikkhuni. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now we would like to invite the next speaker, Venerable Bhikkhuni Mahatheri from the US. So Venerable Mahātherī will share about a topic about 1997 Bhikkhuni ordination. Let me firstly briefly share with you the biodata of Mahātherī. So Venerable Bhikkhuni Mahatheri was born in Washington, D.C. in 1968. She has entered monastic life 30 years ago and received Bhikkhuni ordination in 1997 from the Sri Lanka Sangha in California. In 2005, Ayatthha co-founded Dhammadharīni Support Foundation together with the first monastic community for Theravāda Bhikkhunis in the America, followed by Ariya Bodhi heritage on the Sonoma coast in 2008, and later Dhammadharīni Monastery in Sonoma mountain area of Northern California. Then in 2006, Ayatthha was awarded as an outstanding woman in Buddhism at the United Nations in Bangkok. In 2009, she became the first contemporary Western woman to be appointed as Bhikkhuni preceptor. Up to 2022, she has become a Pavattini and teacher to more than 50 Bhikkhunis and seminaries. So here now we will share a short video clip that has been pre-recorded by Venerable Bhikkhuni Mahatheri for her topic about 1997 Bhikkhuni ordination. Sorry, we cannot hear the voice.
Of the awakened lineage of the Buddha
Okay, thank you.
throughout time. I'll be speaking about the 1997 Bhikkhuni ordination in the Ananda Sima at the International Buddhist Meditation Center in Los Angeles, as we continue our commemoration of the 25-year anniversaries of the Bhikkhuni ordinations leading to the resuscitation and revival of the Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha. 1 year ago, as mentioned, Maha Bodhi Society of India and our newly formed United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International celebrated the 25-year anniversary of the 1996 Bhikkhuni ordination in Sarnath. This coming February 2023 will celebrate and commemorate the 1998 International Bhikkhuni ordination in Bodh Gaya, through both of which the Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha of Sri Lanka and South Asia were revived. The November 1997 ordination was in between them. In 1997, after hearing about the 1996 Sarnath ordination, Venerable Karuna Dhamma, the first Bhikkhuni ordained in America in 1976, then abbess of International Buddhist Meditation Center, IBMC of Los Angeles, was inspired to organize a grand ordination at IBMC. Venerable Dr. Heaven Pularathanasara, Sanghanaika for the Western Hemisphere at the adjacent College for Buddhist Studies, was in support. Unlike other grand ordinations at IBMC, in 1997, all the candidates accepted for Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni ordination had strong Theravada connections and leanings. They were all from Theravada traditions of Sri Lanka and Nepal, plus one applicant born in the United States was accepted, who had been in Europe and in India, and then training with the Korean Bhikkhuni Sangha with a leading Bhikkhuni teacher and ordination master. The Sri Lankan candidate had already been a 10-precept nun for more than 10 years. The Nepali candidate had already been an 8-precept anagarika for several years as well. But the American candidate was 4 years since she'd undertaken Nisayan Papaja with her Korean Bhikkhuni mentor, and 2 years since seminary ordination. All told, it had been nearly 10 years as an anagarika, 10-preceptor, and seminary. The ordination program was 1 month. The training consisting of 3 weeks of preparatory instruction, practice, and examinations, followed by 1 week of post-ordination training. Theravada Bhikkhu teachers, including Venerable Dr. Rajanasara, gave regular teachings, and Venerable Shanti gave practice instructions. Bhikkhunis of Vietnamese traditions gave hands-on instruction and examination, with participation from local Korean Bhikkhunis as well. Just as the ordination training program was beginning, word came that Ayakema had passed away. She had lived with cancer for 8 years. It was November 2nd, 1997. Ayakema was a Shakyadita founder and with Venerable Karunadhamma had been active in Shakyadita USA. She was a great luminary and exemplar. The merits of the 1997 ordination training, teachings, and practice were dedicated to her. Serving as chief organizer, Venerable Karunadhamma's second assistant, day by day, the American Seminary went with Venerable Karunadhamma for in-person visits to the places of all the Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni Sanghas around LA to introduce the ordination to them and request and invite their participation. They visited LA's Sri Lankan and Thai temples and also the Korean temples. The count of supporting and participating Sanghas steadily increased. Venerable Dr. Havanpola Rajanasar would serve as Bhikkhu Upajjhaya, with Venerable Havanpola Shanti as Kamawajacharya. At Los Angeles Buddhist Vihara, Most Venerable Ahankama Dhammarama accepted invitation to join as Vice Upajjhaya, Anusavanacharya, with another supportive bhikkhu from the LA Buddhist Vihara. At the Dhamma Vijaya Buddhist Vihara, the Venerable Bhikkhu Sangha and residents pledged their attendance. At Wat Thai LA, the senior abbot, Prathamaraj Anuwat, could not join but offered his blessings and promised 4 bhikkhus from Wat Thai LA. 2 more bhikkhus from Thai Forest Monastery and Wat Lao Buddha also promised to join, totaling 15 members of the Venerable Theravada Bhikkhunī Saṅgha of the Sri Lankan Siam Upaliwangsa and Amarapura Nikayas and the Thai Siam Upaliwangsa Mahanikaya traditions. 6 leading members of the Korean Bhikkhu Sangha also gave their blessings and promised to join as witnessing masters, as well as 2 bhikkhunis. 5 bhikkhunis ordained in Vietnamese Dharmaguptaka, Lam Te tradition also gave their blessings and pledged to join, preparing to be the ordaining Bhikkhuni Sangha. However, the lesson to all organizers, then 1 Vietnamese bhikkhuni and 1 Korean bhikkhuni canceled. Only 5 bhikkhunis were then confirmed, the bare minimum. Bhante Rajanasara's health was failing. He faithfully kept up teaching the candidates as much as he could, while lying down in a reclining chair, face pale and short of breath. His dedication and care for the Sangha was great, but his diabetes and other age-related health conditions were pressing in. All felt the urgency of anicca in the training. It was uncertain whether he would be able to join the ordination or not. On the day of the ordination, Bhante Ratanasara was up. The line of the processing Sangha into the Anandasima hall was long and radiant. In the hall, the senior leading members of the Theravada Bhikkhunī Sangha were seated in front on the viewer's left side, right hand of the Buddha, with officials foremost, and the members of Vietnamese Bhikkhuni Sangha, front and right. The 4 Bhikkhu Bhikkhuni higher ordination candidates, 1 Bhikkhu and 3 Bhikkhunis, were front and center. Around 200 assembled members of the Sangha, Buddhist teachers, and attending well-wishers were gathered. When all settled, it was noticed there was 1 empty seat in the front right in the Bhikkhuni Sangha section. The Bhikkhunis were counted and came up 1 short. Missing Bhikkhuni was called on mobile. Sick with terrible flu, she apologized, asking to give her blessings, chanta, to go ahead without her. Bhante Ratanasara noted to all that the minimum in-person quorum outside the Indian Madhyadesha was 5. Even though the missing Bhikkhuni gave her chanda in person to another Bhikkhuni who quickly went to visit her just 2 blocks away. At the same time, more quick calls were made. No other Bhikkhunis were available in the area. Then Bhante Ratanasara began to speak out strongly and clearly to the assembly. This was noteworthy as his health had recently been so poor and his voice had not been strong. Anujanami bhikkhue, bhikkhuhi, bhikkhuniyo, upasampade tunti. Bhikkhus, I allow you to ordain bhikkhunis. Bhante Ratanasara then explained to the assembly that these canonical words were originally the Buddha's injunction to the Bhikkhu Sangha, and that Bhikkhuni teachers were later called upon to give aspirants examination in sensitive matters. So dual ordination arose. He noted that Bhikkhuni Sangha over the past weeks had already given full instruction and exam to the female candidates. Now it was merely a formality to confirm. He asked the assembled Bhikkhunis to formally confirm and said then that the Bhikkhuni ordination candidates would also go through the full ordination procedure after that with the Bhikkhu Sangha, together with and just the same as the Bhikkhu ordination candidate. The 3 Bhikkhuni candidates were asked to learn the correct answers to the polytext exam on the spot in 1 instruction. Bhante Ratanasara then also noted and asked to consider that some of the most eminent and bright of well-educated masters and scholars, both in Sri Lanka and Burma, had already recommended from years ago this method he was proposing now being perhaps the best and soundest method to revive the Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha. Only there was also a wish to respect the existent Bhikkhunis, and the East Asian Sanghas in gratitude wished to return the gift of the lineage they had received from Sri Lanka. Bhante Ratanasara then explained and proposed his understanding that there would be just 1 Sanghakama by the Bhikkhu Sangha, because while 4 bhikkhus or 4 bhikkhunis together could not be ordained together with 1 kama, 3 is the limit. This would be 1 bhikkhu and 3 bhikkhunis, not surpassing the limit, not ordaining a Bhikkhu Sangha, nor ordaining a Bhikkhuni Sangha. Such was Bhante's deep, vast, and quick Vinaya knowledge. The American seminary felt such admiration arise in her heart. She aspired to learn and gain such ready knowledge herself. 6 of the Theravada bhikkhus present were Mahatheras, and another 6 were Teras. The number allowed by Vinaya to be ordained together was familiar to them. They nodded, considered, discussed briefly, and then agreed. The procedure now agreed upon was further clarified. First, there would be Pabaja and Samanera Sika again for the Sri Lankan method. Then exam with the Bhikkhunis for the women candidates, then the full procedure of Upasampada for all 4 candidates with the Bhikkhu Sangha. There was consensus. It was announced resoundingly, the Sangha is in harmony. During the Sanghakama and the admonition, it seemed as if the whole hall was thundering and roaring resoundingly with good energy, as if deva drums and trumpets were sounding. And so it came to be that fully ordained on 22 November 1997, 2540 BE, in the Anandasima Hall at International Buddhist Meditation Center were Venerable Bhikkhu Parakande Ariya Prabhuti from Sri Lanka, Venerable Bhikkhuni Mahagora Sumeta from Sri Lanka, Venerable Bhikkhuni Sakyani Tataloka from USA, Venerable Bhikkhuni Ruja Karuna from Nepal. The name given by my Korean Venerable Bhikkhuni mentor, Tataloka, in Korean, Sok Yogwang. The instructing and examining Bhikkhunis, Sons Quorum, the ordaining Bhikkhu Sangha, the witnessing Korean Bhikkhu Sangha, witnessing Vietnamese tradition Bhikkhus. Because what happened on the day was somewhat different than what was planned, the printed programs and the ordination certificates printed at the printer beforehand could not accurately reflect what occurred. So later corrected certificates were made to serve in lieu of the originals. An example, this is mine. As far as it's known to the speaker, this was the first contemporary recorded occasion where the Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha used the ancient injunction of the Buddha, recommended by highly knowledgeable great masters of the 20th century, to give Theravāda Bhikkhuni ordination by the Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha. About photos. Noting when I returned to Asia after completing basic post-Upasampada training followed by retreat, I traveled light and left my big album of ordination photos behind at the hermitage where I'd stayed for 3 years retreat. All that now remains are scans of a few very poor quality photocopies of photocopies included in the photocopy of a visa application. These are shared here as noted, together with similar equivalent representative photos from other years' IBMC ordinations, to be able to see and understand easily. Grand Ordination Commemorative Booklet, banner, welcome to the Grand Ordination, Sangha Procession. This is November 22nd, 1997. In the center is Bhante Ratanasara. On the right, Bhante Shanti. Next to, on the left, is Venerable Karuna Dhamma. Behind, a long line of the Theravāda Bhikkhu Saṅgha. Procession coming up to the Anandasima Hall. And 1997, candidates are here with Bhikkhuni instructors, receiving instruction in the requisites. Bhikkhuni teachers and instructors. Here in 1997, Bhante Shanti is giving instruction in the requisites with assistance from Bhikkhuni instructors. This is Bhikkhuni helping out. This is me. This is Venerable Mahagora Sumeta. This is Venerable Ruja Karuna. Bhante Shanti. 1997 here with Venerable Bhikkhu Sangha. This is Bhante Ratanasara and Bhante Dhammarama, Pradhammavitet, and Venerable Bhikkhu Sangha seated here. So Bhikkhunis observing. This is Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumeta here in front of them. Our Upajjhaya, Bhante Ratanasara, our Vice Upajjhaya, Bhante Dhammarama, giving the Anusavana. Big smiles and happiness after the grand ordination. Bhante Ratanasara, Bhante Dhammarama, Bhikkhu Sangha, and our organizer, Venerable Karuna Dhamma. In gratitude and commemoration to our Venerable Bhikkhu Upajjhaya, passed away in 2000 at age 80. And in gratitude and commemoration to to Venerable Karuna Dhamma, our Bhikkhuni Upasampada organizer who passed away in 2014 at age 73. And gratitude to our Vice Upajjhaya, Bhante Dhammarama, now age 97, the eldest Theravada monk in North America. We're paying respects to him here. This is me with, and those Bhikkhunis I've served as preceptor for. Here's Bhante Dhammarama with Bhante Shanti. Here I am. Also gratitude to the late Lungtia Pra Dhammarajanuwat for his blessings and generosity, and to Praraj Dhammavitet, now Pra Tepmongkol Vitet, now at age 90, the eldest Thai monk in America. Appreciation to all the monks at Wat Thai LA who gave support. It was less than 4 months later, in March of 1998, that the ancient practice of all Theravada dual Bhikkhuni ordination would be revived in Sri Lanka, now practiced regularly once again for the past, nearly as of this presentation, 25 years since then. We'll learn more about this with UTBSI during the 25-year anniversary of this great event in 2023. Gratitude first and last to the Buddha and the Dhamma, to Sanghamitta Theri, Anulatisa Theri, and all the Arahant Sangha, to all noble Kalyanamitas, and to all benefactors who have supported practicing in this noble way. The end of the 1997 Bhikkhuni Ordination 25th Anniversary presentation. Thank you for your patient listening. Chirang Titatu Buddha.
Thank you very much, Venerable Bhikkhuni Luka Mahātherī, for sharing with us the 1997 Bhikkhuni ordination, which is very rich information, and bring to our attention about the ordination training program that has been done in the past in 1997, and also the determination of Bhante Ratanasara Saganayaka Thiru in the special event that by the utterance of the Buddhaverse that the Theravada Bhikkhu is allowed to ordain the Bhikkhunis. Right, now the next topic is about the importance of Bhikkhunis from the perspective of Tibetan tradition. So we'd like to welcome Venerable Bhikkhuni Jesuma Tenzin Palmo Mahatheri from the UK for this sharing. So Venerable Bhikkhuni has pre-recorded her sharing. So here now I would like to give you a brief introduction for her biography. Venerable Bhikkhuni Jesuma Tenzin Palmo Mahatheri is from the Drukpa lineage of the Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. She was born in England in 1943. In 1967, she received her Shramanarika ordination from His Holiness the 16th Karmapa at Rumtek Monastery in Sikkim. Then she went to Milford Temple in Hong Kong for the Bhikkhuni ordination because it was not available for women in the Tibetan tradition at that contemporary. Then in February 2008, Venerable Tenzin Palmo was given the rare title of Jetsuma, means Venerable Master, by His Holiness the 12th Gyalwang Drukpa, the head of the Drukpa Kagyu lineage, in recognize her spiritual achievement and her efforts in promoting Tibetan Buddhism female practitioner status. Today, Venerable Tenzin Palmo is the founding director of Dongyo Gazaling Nandari, president of Sakyadita International Association of Buddhist Women, founding director of the Alliance of the Non-Himalayan Nuns, and an honorary advisor to the International Network of Engaged Buddhists. And also, she is a founding member of the Committee for Bhikkhuni Ordination. So now let us listen to the pre-recording sharing of Venerable Bhikkhuni Jesuma Tenzin Palmo Mahatheri.
So, greetings to you all. I hope that your conference is going really well. It's a very important subject, the subject of the need for more bhikkhunis in this world. So here I'm addressing the question of the bhikkhuni lineage in the Mula Theravada tradition, which was brought into Tibet in the 8th century by Shantarakshita, Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava, and the king of Tibet at that time, Trison Detsen. They invited monks to come to Tibet in the 8th century to establish the ordination. At that time, there was no monasticism in Tibet. So monks came over from India, and 25 students of Padmasambhava were ordained as the first monks. Unfortunately, they, of course, forgot the bhikkhunis. And as a result, there was no bhikkhuni lineage introduced into Tibet at that time or any other time. So now in modern days, the question of bhikkhuni ordination has been raised again and again, and we are still waiting for a resolution. In the meantime, through history, the monks have given the Shramanaraka or Samanera ordination to nuns, since the rules are the same for monks and nuns. But as to the actual bestowing of the bhikkhuni ordination, that has been a cause of great resistance, one might say, that the monks basically don't want it. However, last June, we are now in 2022, in Bhutan, which is a Himalayan state just between China and India, small Himalayan Vajrayana state. There they gave the full ordination, the bhikkhuni ordination, to 142 Shramanerikas, novice nuns, and that was done with using a bhikshu-only ordination ritual. So the monks performed the ritual. The point is that the ritual, the actual ordination ritual, is the same for monks or nuns. There is no difference. The only part that the Bhikkhuni Sangha play is to hand over the robes, the monastic robes, to the nuns and ask them certain questions which, dealing with female sexuality, were regarded as being inappropriate for the monks to ask. But the nuns themselves do not, the bhikkhunis themselves do not bestow the ordination. When the novices have been questioned and received their robes and the bowl, the alms bowl, then they are handed over to the Sangha of the bhikshus, and the bhikshus themselves bestow the ordination. So actually, even the talk in the Tibetan circles of having a mixed ordination is not valid, because the nuns are not giving the ordination. Then it's the monks that are giving the ordination. Anyway, so there's still endless disputes about how it can be done, inviting nuns from Taiwan or Korea to give but they're not giving the ordination, as I say. They're actually only doing the first part, which is to ask the questions. And in fact, monks themselves can ask these questions. In Bhutan, the monks asked the questions, and all the nuns had to do was say no to all the questions. And so the monks asked the specific questions for nuns to the nuns and gave them the robes and the alms bowl, and then they went into the main ordination, which, as we said, is the same for monks or nuns. It's the same ritual. So we are hoping that something in the future will happen. It needs the very high lamas themselves to give this ordination. Otherwise, it will not it will not be regarded as valid. In Bhutan, it was bestowed by His Holiness the Je Khenpo, who is the head of the monastic order in Bhutan. And the royal family themselves came and encouraged the nuns and showed their tremendous support for this ordination. After the ordination, then various scholar lamas gave talks and training for these bhikkhunis so that they could now become, able to not only study the Vinaya but also to undertake the various prasada rituals and so forth which they would need to be done. So everything was very nicely done. It was a beautiful setting. Everybody was really rejoicing, and it was a very, very happy occasion. Of course, it's meantime being completely ignored by the Tibetan establishment, but we hope that the Tibetans themselves in time will step forward to bestow this ordination. We've heard rumors that it will be done, but up to now we haven't had any on-the-ground confirmation. So anyway, it will happen. The Buddha himself wanted a fourfold Sangha and said that a fourfold Sangha was like a table with 4 legs, very stable and firm. And at the moment, the Tibetans only have a 3.5 leg table. So we need that other leg, that half leg, to grow into a full leg. And at this time, nuns are becoming very well educated. They are becoming experts in ritual. They are gaining great confidence. And even this morning, certain select nuns in our nunnery are giving a Dhamma talk in front of their main professors and teachers and all the other nuns in order to train them in how to give Dhamma talks. And so they do this at regular intervals for them to gain confidence and the ability to step out of their in the shadows role and take something at the forefront. So nuns in the Tibetan tradition are doing really well. They are becoming highly educated. They themselves are becoming the teachers. The nunneries are well run and well directed. The nuns live lives of great dedication and focus. They're ethically very, very pure and very, very dedicated to living a life of the Dharma. So the only thing they lack now, the only thing they lack is full ordination. And that cannot be denied much longer because there's no grounds for it. And so please join me in our prayers that very soon this ordination will be bestowed on nuns in the Tibetan tradition, in the Mula Sarvastivada tradition, and that everyone will rejoice and benefit. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much for Venerable Bhikkhuni Jesuma Tenzin Palmo Mahathero sharing here. So here we also see that on the view and the comments from Venerable Bhikkhuni, that what happened in the Tibetan Buddhism about the higher ordination, instead of a dual Sangha ordination, so the single ordination is say permitted, which earlier in we remember at other conference also our Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammananda Mahātherī also share about this thing from Theravada perspective. So let us all join the Venerable Bhikkhuni Jesuma Tenzin Palmo Mahātherī in the prayer for this hopefully by the earlier opportunity that this higher ordination will be available for Tibetan Buddhism nuns as well. So here, our last but not least speaker is Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumangala from Malaysia. So she will share about the topic on the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International UTBSI milestones. Now let me introduce her brief biography. Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumangala was born in Selangor, Malaysia. Ariya Sumangala was previously a corporate branch manager. She had completed her MA in Industrial and Organizational Psychology and an MA in Buddhist philosophy. Ariya Sumangala became an Anagarika since year 2005, and she went forth in 2008. She has taken her Bhikkhuni ordination in 2015. Now she is the abbess of Ariya Vihara, who is also raising support worldwide to build the Malaysian first Theravāda Bhikkhunī Nunnery and Dhamma Training Center at Kuasa Damansara, Selangor. Ariya Sumangala plays a role as a spiritual advisor of Gautami Vihara Society Malaysia since 2016. In 2019, she pioneered the Ariya Monastic and Laity Training Program, AMLTP, to nurture potential Dhamma leaders, noble practitioners, and Bhikkhuni Sangha in Malaysia. She is also a meditation teacher in regional and abroad. So now let us warmly welcome Venerable Bhikkhunī Sumangala to share about the topic, the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International milestones. Please, Venerable.
Thank you, Venerable Ariya Sanghamitta. So today we have listened to many talks about the ordination and the importance of today's remembrance of Venerable Sanghamitta Mahātherī, who went to Sri Lanka on a mission and on the invitation of Venerable Bhante Mahinda Mahathero. And as we flash back, we will always flash back to the earlier Bhikkhuni, that is Venerable Mahapajapati Gautami Mahatheri. So again, as we look back to this history and the lineage that we are having today, we can see that there are few similarities that we are taking today, especially if we look from Kapilavastu to Vesali and from Pataliputra to Sri Lanka. And there are few points that we can see. The one is locally transmitted, and the other one, of course, going overseas. So we can see the first Bhikkhuni Sangha missionary to assist in forming and developing Bhikkhuni Sangha overseas in the distant lands, with other 10 Bhikkhunis to ordain Queen Anula and 500 women candidates for Prabhaja and higher ordination, happened in 3rd BC. This indeed is a remarkable journey for the women to go as far as overseas, to set the mission to develop the Bhikkhuni Sangha and also to develop the people in Sri Lanka, and to set this foundation, even to pass this lineage to China. So today, when we flash back on how United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International, in short form, UTBSI, we can also flash back the milestones of great effort of all the Mahatheris and Theri, and also all the effort from the Bhikkhus, and also the Upasaka and Upasika, and also with this invitation and guidance from Most Venerable Bhante P. Sivali Mahathero, to all the Dhamma Bhikkhuni sisters, the Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha, and especially in our context, the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International was formed. And Bhante has only recalling the ordination in 1996 when the Venerable Kusuma Bhikkhuni was ordained by the then Venerable Mapalagama Vipulasara, the then president of MBSI, Maha Bodhi Society of India. And subsequently, of course, there are many other senior monks that is supporting, like Venerable Tidamaloka, Venerable Gunaratana, Venerable Kesiri Dhammananda from Malaysia. So flashing back again, we see the resurgence of Theravada Bhikkhuni order in the recent modern era, especially the late 20th century. And we hear about the ordination, Bhikkhuni ordination in 1996. Just now we also hear the Bhikkhuni ordination in 1997 in America. And there are also Bhikkhuni ordination 1998 in Buddhāya, and in year 2000 in Taiwan, year 2002 Sri Lanka, and subsequently 2007, 2009 in Australia, 2015 in Indonesia, and now even for dual Bhikkhuni ordination happened in Bangladesh. So let us flashback the sequence as the Bhikkhuni Sangha for the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International. It was born when the celebration of the 20th year anniversary of the revival of Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha Vienna, entitled Theravāda Bhikkhunī Sangha, Past, Present, and Future. In this occasion, the Bhikkhu monks, Bhikkhuni nuns, Upasakas, and Upasikas from all over the world. And because due to pandemic, we can hold this internationally via Zoom. And this gathering of all the bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, and upasaka and upasikas, we celebrate and deliberate on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and especially with the remarkable years of revival of the Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha. So subsequent to this effort, Venerable P. Sivali Naka Mahathero has encouraged the Bhikkhuni and the Mahatheris to start the formation of United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International. And it was formed at a time with the Mahatheris, Venerable Tataloka Mahatheri, Venerable Santini Mahatheri, Venerable Vidita Mahatheri, Venerable Dhammananda Theri, Venerable Bodhicitta Theri at the time, and later on the inclusion of Venerable Mangala Bhikkhuni. So with this effort, the first launching of the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International has been done in 9 January 2022. And with the theme, Restore, Renew, and Rejuvenate with Dhamma. The objective at the time was a platform for bhikkhunis around the world to share and contribute their knowledge, skills, and expertise in Dhamma, and also for the development of the Buddha Sasana. Number 2, a platform to work together with Bhikkhu Sangha, Upasaka, and Upasika as the 4-4 assembly with the Bhikkhuni Sangha for the well-being, happiness, and benefit of the multitude. Number 3, to propagate the virtues of humanity, respect, kindness, and wisdom in accordance with the Noble Eightfold Path for the progress and liberation of humankind. So our activities at the time proposed is especially to introduce and to bring awareness to the public for the Dhamma program to be organized by the UTBSI, and also to offer other aspects of training or awareness, such as Pali English class, Buddhist counseling, meditation, monastic training, and those programs that celebrate the festive, Buddhist festive. Yeah? So from one program after the launching, we introduced different monastery and the bhikkhunis from different corners of the world, so that people are aware of the development of the bhikkhunis rather than the hearsay or the myth of a bhikkhuni. Yeah? And number 2, the second program that we organize is commemorating Mahapajapati Gautama's Parinirvana Day, and it was a very challenging event as we organize it continuously 7 days. And this Dhamma program that we have is headed by Venerable Santini Mahatheri, who has been working very, very diligently and very supportive in all the programs that we developed after that. So the second one that we organized, not knowing that it's very tough, we have committed 7 days, and we have actually completed the 7 days with the theme of the pillar, strength, and liberation. And through this program, we also managed to share how Mahapajapati Gautami's lineage, and the strive, and also the parinibbana of our first long-standing Bhikkhuni, and how the Buddha praised her attainment to clarify to those who are still in doubt. And we know that Mahapajapati Gautami's Mahatheri's parinibbana has been recorded in many versions of the canon, in Pali and in Chinese. And so this is very important for us, that these are not about hearsay, but it's always on a proper record, historical record, that we see that the Bhikkhuni lineage started in a very strong background to propagate the Bhikkhuni Sangha for the well-being of the many. And we can also see that from having a very comfortable life, the Bhikkhuni take the step from comfort zone to renounce their worldly life and to seek the true Dhamma, and to enter the Sangha, and to finally attain liberation. So these have also been a very revolutionary steps, even in India at that time, and also when it travels overseas. We can see that the nuns are very committed, and the Bhikkhunis, they are also learned, and they practice very well. And through the history, recorded history in the canon, we can see that from there on, the formation of Bhikkhuni Sangha has been helping the women to come up from difficulties, to come up from the perception that they are low, or whether they are incapable, has been diminished by the coming up of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So we are actually very thankful for all the pioneer of Bhikkhuni Sangha. And the next that we organize in UTBSI is in April 9th, where we have this theme, prolongation of Buddha Sasana by the great reverences, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, the threefold training and loving kindness. And in this program also, we have Bhante, Venerable Sumita Mahathero from USA, to share with us a very comprehensive explanation about the 5 great reverences, and how Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, and Upasaka and Upasika can actually thrive together and respect each other, as he explained his own support in the development of Bhikkhuni Sangha in USA. And in this particular program also, we have Bhikkhuni Vandana from India also to share with us some of the difficulties that Bhikkhuni in India is facing, and their wish for the training and support from Bhikkhu and the senior Bhikkhuni for their progress. And we also have Professor Kailash Prasad to do the opening on behalf of MBSI. And these are where we can see that the coming of the Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, and to support each other has contributed continuously for the development of the UTBSI, that we can always provide platform for more and more experienced speakers, and also for young speakers to come together to share the Dhamma and to inspire more and more people. Our 4th program, as we continue to organize, the program for the people is the joint effort of MBSI and UTBSI Global Vesak Dhamma Program, where we host it in May 12 to 14, 3 days event. And during this event, we have lined up reach senior Mahatheros and also Mahātherīs, and to share the Dhamma with all, with a theme of Vesak and timeless wisdom, compassion and purity of mind for the development of vibrant humanity. So in this program, we also have invited Most Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi Mahathero, Bante Saranankara Nayaka Mahathero, Bante P. Sivali Mahathero, Bante Ananda Jyoti Bhikkhu from UK, and also Most Venerable Bhikkhuni Tataloka Mahātherī, Venerable Vidita Dhamma Mahātherī, Venerable Dhammananda Mahātherī, Venerable Santini Mahātherī, Venerable Bodhicitta Theri, Venerable Titacharani Theri, and Venerable Palayani Theri, and also Samaneri from Vietnam, Samaneri Manichitta, and Venerable Dhamma Paripurna. And all we can see that they are all coming from all corners of the world, from US, Europe, and Malaysia, from Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, Australia. And we can see that the coming together of the Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, and also the Upasaka and Upasika in this program has shown us the path that the coming together of these four Chattuparisa is so important for the development of the Buddha Sasana, to bring forth the Dhamma to more and more people. The next one, on the fifth program we organize, is on 9 July. The significance of setting in motion the wheel of Dhamma in commemoration of Dhamma Day celebration. So in this particular program, we have also invited Bante Ananda Mahathero from Mahabodhi Society of Bangalore, and also Mr. Kiran Lama from MBSI, and the moderator, Venerable Paripurna Bhikkhuni from Thailand, also stepped forward to also help in the moderating the session. And as usual, Ayya Santini is always the backbone behind this program. And so we have also a very important person behind the program, each program, that is our technical team, Venerable Vijayani Bhikkhuni and Venerable Sadika Bhikkhuni. And next, we'd like to also introduce the next milestone that we go is in 13 August, where we share the Dhamma program for the title of the Dhamma Vinaya as our teacher. And during this time, we have invited two speakers from Europe and USA, where Venerable Palayani Theri, Abbess Aninja Viharam from Germany, has presented the title of Be Unto Yourself an Island, Dhamma as Your Island. Whereas Venerable Bhikkhuni Soma, co-abbot of Empty Cloud Monastery in New Jersey, USA, has presented the title of The Significance of Dhamma Vinaya as Our Teacher. So through all this Dhamma program, we have bring awareness on the proper practice of the Dhamma and the understanding of the Dhamma through the Tipitaka teaching and also through the practice. And we are also very happy that the next month of this sixth event, we've also managed to organize the International Bhikkhuni Day 2022 with the theme, The Living Legacy of Our 20th and 21st Century Pioneers. And the keynote speaker is Bante P. Sivali Mahathero. And also we actually rejoice in the congratulating the 4 Mahātherīs. And the first one is Ayya Dhammananda Mahātherī, where she has completed the 20th years as a Bhikkhuni. as the first Thailand Bhikkhuni and Pavatini, and also Ayya Gunasari Mahātherī, the first Burmese Bhikkhuni and as a Pavatini and residing in US. Ayya Sudama Mahātherī, also an Euro-American Bhikkhuni and Pavatini. Ayya Vidita Dhamma Mahātherī, the first Vietnamese Bhikkhuni and Pavatini. So we are rejoicing with all their years of Upasampada and their contribution for the continuous Bhikkhuni Sangha development. And on September 24, in the 125th annual general meeting of Maha Bodhi Society of India, the UTBSI coordinators were elected as honorary member of Maha Bodhi Society of India. And indeed, we'd like to thank Maha Bodhi Society of India for always giving the support, and especially under the leadership of the most Venerable P. Sivali Mahathero, for all the Bhikkhunis to continue to strive heedfully and to come in unity to continue to develop the Bhikkhuni Sangha. And this was the election for honorary member was given to Venerable Tataloka Mahatheri, Venerable Santini Mahatheri, Venerable Vidita Dhamma Mahatheri, and Venerable Dhammananda Mahatheri, Venerable Bodhicitta Theri, and Venerable Sumangala Bhikkhuni. So we are very thankful to the whole team of the Bhikkhunis for working together in unity and to bring this confidence to other society. And we hope that this unity continue to be an inspiration, just like Sanghamitta Theri that goes to Sri Lanka to propagate the Dhamma. And we as a Bhikkhuni, now in this era, we are able to meet together with just a few buttons away. And I think there's no reason why the Bhikkhuni would not be able to work together. But now with the facilities of Zoom and the internet, I think this can be expedited. But of course, with careful discussion and also working together in harmony. Our main contributor for this year, as we progresses with our Dhamma sharing, with organizing program, quality program, and with inviting experienced Dhamma speakers to share the Dhamma. We also have in 3 months' time coming together to organize the first ever dual ordination in Theravada tradition with the Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha and Theravāda Bhikkhunī Sangha in Buddhāya under Maha Bodhi Society of India and also United Theravāda Bhikkhunī Saṅgha International. In this program, we offer from 6 to 14 November the International Theravada Bhikkhuni Ordination Training Program in Buddhāya and at Maha Bodhi Society of India. In this program, the candidates are given training for Dhamma Vinaya and also procedures of ordination and also the Pali chanting. And the ordination for the candidates take place on the 11th and 12th November, as there are 33 candidates for Bhikkhunis and 3 candidates for Samaneri. And the ordination take place at Sima Wat Lao International. And after that, there's a post-seminar and workshop. And during this post-seminar and workshop, felicitation for the present Mahatheri for their contribution for the Bhikkhunis Sasana, and also workshop for the new Bhikkhuni Sangha for further understanding their new role and new responsibility. So the dual ordination took place where the Theravada Theras come from India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Cambodia, Laos, and USA. And Most Venerable Bhante B. Saranankara Nayaka Mahathero from Malaysia became the Upajjhaya, and also Most Venerable Bhante P. Sivali Nayaka Mahathero from India also became the Upajjhaya. And Most Venerable Bhante Kalpahana Piyaratana Mahathero, Sri Lanka, and Most Venerable Bhante Talangali Sudama from Sri Lanka, Mahathero, and Most Venerable Bhante Dhammapala Mahathero from Malaysia became the Kamawacharya. And from the Bhikkhunis, there are about 20 Bhikkhunis, and the Mahatheris, as Pavatini, Venerable Santini Mahatheri has kindly come all the way from Indonesia to become the Pavatini for this ordination, and also Venerable Vidita Dhamma Lupat Mahatheri from Vietnam. Both of them became the Pavatini for the group of 33 candidates and who came forward. And the Kamawaccharini came from two from Indonesia, two from Thailand, and one from Vietnam, and one from Malaysia. So indeed, we were very blessed. There are so many Bhikkhunis that came forward to support this ordination. And finally, 31 Bhikkhunis received higher ordination, and 3 samaneris went forth. And the Bhikkhunis and samaneris came from Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Australia, Cambodia, and India. So in this occasion also, we received on the 8th November, the Mahabodhi Society of India, led by Most Venerable P. Sivali Mahathero, has offered the opening of UTBSI Bhikkhuni Training Center in Buddhāya for the future training of local and international Bhikkhuni to hold their training program for the advancement of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So indeed, Mahasadu to Venerable P. Sivali Thero, and also to Mahabodhi Society of India for their kind support for the Bhikkhuni Sangha to continue to develop. And in this particular event too, we commemorate on the great service of the late Venerable Bhikkhuni Paris from 1996 to the present, those who have contributed so diligently, again passing down the lineage of Bhikkhuni ordination that we have now in this year, celebrating the 25th years. And for this, the felicitation also will extend to our present Mahātherī for their diligence and continuous hard working for the sustaining of the Bhikkhuni ordination for the world. And indeed, through their many efforts, we can see that the Bhikkhuni Sangha continue to grow. And the felicitation of Mahatheris goes to Venerable Tataloka Mahatheri, 25 years Upasampada, Venerable Santini Mahatheri, 23 years of Upasampada, Venerable Vidita Dhamma Lupa Mahatheri, 21 years of Upasampada, and Venerable Dhammananda Mahatheri, 20 years of Upasampada. So noting all the importance work of our Mahatheris, the Theris, the Bhikkhunis, and all who are seeking for renunciation to pave way for the path to liberation, we sincerely thank all who have come forward to support this cause of journey. And in UTBSI and also the MBSI, we sincerely thank each and every one, and especially to all our most venerable bhikkhus, to our venerable bhikkhu P. Sivali Mahathero, Venerable Bhikkhu Saranankara Mahathero, and all the Mahatheros and all the Theros and bhikkhus who have continued to support this noble journey for the Bhikkhuni Sangha to continue to thrive, to bring forth the Buddha Sasana to a greater height by their contribution. And we also thank all who have participated in this program and to spread this news to more and more people. And all the contribution for the development of the ordination of Bhikkhuni Sangha continue to be smooth and successful, so that the Buddha Sasana can continue to grow with the fourfold assembly complete and be able to illuminate the world. Again, we would like to thank all the bhikkhus, all the most also Venerable Bhikkhunis, and to all our technical team behind the scene, to Venerable Vijayani and Venerable Sarika, and all the illustrator of the videos for the program. And we can not thank enough to all those who have contributed for this program. So may all be blessed with the spirit of Sanghamitta to spread the Dhamma far and wide in a distant land, and to bring about this teaching of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha to be the refuge for the world. Thank you very much.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Venerable Bhikkhuni Sangha. So, for the informative sharing about the milestone of UTBSI that we can trace from the past and up to the present modern era. So now it is we come to the end of the program. So I would like to wrap up. Before we invite Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta to lead the closing Pali chanting. So today, at the very beginning of the program, we have heard that Chief Venerable Saranankara Mahathero has highlights on certain points about why it is important to have Bhikkhuni Sangha existent and it's necessary in the past, in present modern world, as well as in the future. So please remember in our heart that the most praiseworthy, the quality that has been highlighted by Chief Venerable is the dedication and the purity of the mind in entering to the Bhikkhuni Sasana for us. So we must be dedicated to the Dhamma and with a pure motivation, to attain the higher place of the Nibbana in this very lifetime. When we enter into the Sangha, and besides, we having heard from our Venerable Bhikkhunis, Mahatheris. So I believe that each and every one of us has been inspired, by the history record of Arahant Sanghamitta in her missionary work. First to Sri Lanka, to establish the Bhikkhuni Sasana, and then to the world. That today enable us to take up the Bhikkhuni ordination and to further to propagate the Dhamma. So now let us invite Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta Theri to lead in the closing Pali chanting. Please, Venerable.
Thank you so much. We wish everyone all the good health and long life and prosperity and the bliss of Nibbana. Especially we want to worship the feet and pay our respect to Bhante Saranankara Theru and also Bhante Sivali Nayaka Theru, who supporting the Bhikkhunis. And also we would like to pay our humble respect to the Mahatheris and the Ariya Theris. And to all the devotees that gathered here today, we would like to wish you all and all of your family members, your parents, your teachers, your siblings, your partners, your children, your grandchildren, friends, relatives, siblings. May all of you be blessed with good health and long life. And may all of you also find prosperity in everything that you do. And may all your good aspirations come true, and one fine day may you all penetrate into the Four Noble Truths and attain the bliss of Nibbana. To all the Bhantes and Aryas, may all your endeavors towards excelling towards the Nibbana, may you all be able to excel, practice, and attain the bliss of Nibbana as soon as possible. Sabhityo vivajantu sabharogo vinasatu mate bhavat mantarayo Sukhi dīghāyuko bhava. Bhavato sabha mangalam rakantu sabha devatam sabha buddhanubhavena Sabba Dhammanubhavena Sabba Sanghānubhavena Sada Soti Bhavantu Te Abhivadana Silisa Niccang Buddha Pacayino Cattaro Dhamma Vadnanti Ayuvarno Sukhang Bhalang Ayurarogya Sampatti Saga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Eminate Samejatu. And our special thank goes to the moderator, Venerable Sanghamitta, and also to our Bhikkhuni coordinators, and also especially for Venerable Santini for conducting and taking the leadership in preparing these programs, and also to all the members who participated today, and to all the Mahatheris and the Theris in UTBSI, and to everyone who is supporting to spread the Dhamma around the world. And we wish you all the best. May a happy full moon day, and may you all be well, comfortable, peaceful, and find happiness in the heart. May you all be well and happy. Sakihatu Teruvan Saranam.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, Bodhicitta. Yeah, I would like to express my sincere thanks and appreciation at the end of the program to all Venerables, Bhikkhunis, Theris, Mahatheris for giving us your precious time to share this valuable knowledge with us today. And my gratitude also goes to the technical team today, Venerable Bhikkhuni Vijayani and Venerable Bhikkhuni Sadika, for your diligence and timely support. Yeah, so finally, I would like to remind our audience that the second day of the Sanghamitta Day program will be tomorrow at the same time. So please remember to log in at the same time and to join together our program. And I wish that everyone has been rejoicing to the Dhamma program and looking forward to see you tomorrow. Thank you.